So you're planning that big move to San Diego, but there's just one problem, and you're not quite sure if you're more of a San Diego suburbs type of person, you like a little bit more of a laid back lifestyle, or heck, maybe you like to be in the hustle and bustle in some of those densely populated areas like the metropolitan area. Either way, we're gonna go over everything you really need to consider to figure out which one is going to be a better fit for you. So stay tuned. Hey, welcome back. If this is your first time here and you like to know everything there is to know about living right here in San Diego, make sure you tap that subscribe button below. My name is Nick, and you guys are reaching out all the time, and we absolutely love helping you out. So if you're thinking about making a move here in a week, a month, even a year, make sure to shoot us a text, shoot us an email, or just straight up give us a call so we can help you save a ton of time and just help you make a smooth move right here to good old San Diego. Now, this is a tough one, right? Because if you ask a local, they'll tell you straight up which one they like better. There's not gonna be no in between, at least with me. So it's really gonna come down to so many different factors, and these are things you really need to pay attention to because a lot of people, I feel like, just don't know the areas well enough. They move here and a year, maybe 6 months later, they're like, this wasn't the best spot for me. I'm gonna head up either to North County or from the North County, head back down south to where all the more happening things are. So it's really gonna depend on so many different things, but we're gonna cover a few things here it's really gonna help you. But the first thing that we really need to break down are the areas, because it can really be broken down into about 4 or 5 different sections. We're gonna cover just about 2. So there's gonna be North County, San Diego, there's gonna be the metropolitan area, South San Diego, South Bay, and then there's gonna be East County. So about 4 different areas. I'm gonna keep it super simple for you guys, and we're really just gonna be talking about North County, San Diego, and those densely populated area, pretty much the metropolitan areas, which is gonna be surrounding downtown San Diego. So if you hear me say metropolitan area, it's gonna be these areas really that I'm really talking about. And if I'm talking about North County, San Diego, it's gonna really be anything from the 56 highway up to about Oceanside, Fallbrook area. That's the entire North County, San Diego. It's a very big place. And San Diego County in general is a massive place. I'm talking hundreds of neighborhoods. We have well over probably 20 to 30 different cities within the county, and they all change so freaking fast, and they're all so different. So chances are there's definitely a place for you here in San Diego. But the first thing we want to dive into is going to be the commutes here. Now, this is the first bullet point that's going to be really important because, like I said, San Diego is massive and there is a ton of freaking people living here. So you're going to have traffic, and traffic is very, very unpredictable. So I would recommend that you do not want to be more than 20, 30 minutes away from your commute. If you have to, drive to the office or to work 4 or 5 times a week, even 3 times a week, you want to keep that drive within 20 or 30 minutes, no traffic, because guess what? If there is traffic, even if you're traveling outside of those, rush hour times, you could still hit it. It will easily double your time to get there. What I mean by that is you're about to find out what section of San Diego I live in, but I live in Oceanside and I drive to Del Mar every so often to go to my office, and that drive with no traffic takes me 19, 20 minutes. Very easy, very simple, just a straight shot down the 5. With traffic when I'm going home, it can easily take me 45 to 50 minutes. That's double the amount of time. So I want to save you that pressure so you don't ever have to do that, because it is going to drive you nuts. If you're anything like me, you hate traffic, and there's just so many people living here, and it's just very unpredictable with traffic. So keep that drive within 20 to 30 minutes, no traffic. And if you're thinking about looking in North County, San Diego, and Escondido and living there, but you have to commute downtown San Diego a couple times a week, even a few times a week, that's not gonna fly. It's gonna drive you nuts. You're gonna wanna probably live closer to that metro area, just so you're closer and you don't have to deal with this traffic all the time. Now, another thing is, if you have to commute to the San Diego airport a few times a month, this is another thing where you really wanna consider, is the metro area gonna be better for you? It's gonna save you a lot of time if you have to bounce back and forth. If you live up in Fallbrook and you have to commute to the airport and fly out to see family or do work every so often, it ain't gonna fly. It's gonna be very repetitive, and traffic is just gonna be a bummer. Setting up rides is gonna suck. Just move closer. Just be somewhere closer to the airport. Likewise, same thing for Los Angeles. If you have to go up to Los Angeles pretty often, you're probably gonna wanna live in North County, San Diego, because it's gonna trim off a lot of time if you have to head up there, because just from one side to the other, if you have to go downtown San Diego all the way to the tip top of North County, San Diego, that could take you 45 minutes, sometimes an hour, depending on traffic. So you wanna trim that down and make it as easy as possible. So consider your options when it comes to that. Now, who has worse traffic? They're both pretty bad. I would say North County, San Diego is a little bit more spread out, so you're gonna see a little bit less congestion. You start to look at the prime time and the rush hour times down here in the metropolitan area, you are going to see a lot more orange, you're gonna see a lot more red throughout the day, especially during those rush hour times. If you look in North County, San Diego, you can see it's a little more spread out and it's only in certain zones. So just something to really think about when it comes to your commute. Next up is proximity to things. Now this one is another huge one, very important. You gotta get crystal clear on this because you gotta figure out what you like to do, what are your hobbies, all this stuff. Do you want to have shopping right outside your door? Do you want to have good walkability? Because these two areas are really going to be a big difference when it comes to stuff. North County, San Diego is a lot more spread out in my opinion. Each city is kind of very self-sustainable and you don't really need to go to any other cities. If you look in the metropolitan areas, it's very densely populated. So you have so many different little areas. I mean, just right where North Park is, you have North Park, you have City Heights, you have Normal Heights, you have Hillcrest. These are all different little cities, but they all have so much to offer in so many different things. And you can literally bike to some of these areas. And honestly, you can even walk to some of them. So you're gonna have a lot more walkability in these dense areas like the metropolitan area. So you gotta figure that out. But I wanna take it a step further because you have to figure out, do you like hiking? Do you like the outdoors? I mean, if you like the outdoors, you'll do pretty well all over San Diego. But the thing is, you want to, this is a big rule of thumb, you want to be 20 minutes within those things that you love to do. Whether it be going to the beach, like myself, I choose North County, San Diego because I love the beach. I need to live within 15, maybe 20 minutes max of the beach, especially on these nice summer days. I like to jump in daily. And guess what? If you love going to the beach almost daily, weekly, and you live more than 20, 30 minutes, on these really nice days, especially in the summer, it's gonna take you a while to get there. It's gonna take you a while to find parking. Not to mention, you have people driving from Riverside County all the way from Temecula, driving to beaches in Oceanside and Carlsbad. So that takes them well over an hour to get there. And it's a bummer. So you wanna keep that as tied down as possible. Another thing is, if you don't like the heat, stay on those coastal towns because we have a ton of different microclimates here and it can change really, really fast. You drive 20, 30, 40 minutes inland from the coast, it's gonna jump up, especially in the summer. You're gonna see 10, sometimes 15 degrees difference. So there's a lot of different microclimates here. Some get those nice coastal breezes. A lot of North County gets some great coastal breezes, kind of right through the 78 right there. So that'll keep the temperatures a little bit better. But you gotta keep that in mind. If you want cooler temperatures, be as close to the beach as possible. If you like those warmer temperatures, which a lot of people do, and you wanna stay away from those bad months like the June gloom and May gray, you head 30 minutes, not even 30 minutes east, but 20 minutes east from the coast, you're gonna have some bright blue skies. And that is why it's so important if you guys are relocating here that you guys reach out to us because we will save you so much time. We just have to have a conversation and figure out what your wants are, what your needs are, what you don't like, just so we can help pinpoint you and put you in these right areas because San Diego is freaking massive. I mean, I've lived here my whole entire life and we have gotten to know these areas extremely well and we absolutely love helping you guys figure out which area is gonna be best for you. And we can't do it unless you guys reach out. So make sure you do, our info is down below. Now, the next thing that we wanna touch base on, that's gonna be another important one, what do you know, is going to be the types of homes here. We all need a place to live and depending on your style, I'm very picky, so if you're picky too, it's gonna vastly change throughout these areas. I mean, a 15, 20-minute drive can take you to a whole different territory. Now, as far as, if you like that densely populated stuff, a lot of condos, townhomes, look in the metropolitan areas. You're gonna have, the trade-off is you're gonna be right next to your neighbor, but you're also gonna have the walkability and have a plethora of things to do. Now, if you wanna be spread out from your neighbor, definitely look North County. You're gonna have some great options up there. Fallbrook, very rural, Vista, Escondido, areas like that, you can be a little bit more spread out from your neighbor where you won't be hearing them if you have people over, things like that. So those are gonna be some good areas. North County is gonna be a bit better for that. Now, as far as prices go, prices are gonna change throughout San Diego. I'm talking all over the freaking place. But overall, I'm gonna say North County, San Diego is definitely more expensive. You have a lot more affluent areas over there. You have some better school districts. You got Carlsbad, you got Rancho Santa Fe, you have Solana Beach, Del Mar, a lot of affluent areas, but you also have some price point areas still, like Vista, Oceanside, San Marcos. These are all great areas still where you can still get in for sometimes give or take less than $1 million. So that's really hard to find here in San Diego. But as you look in the metropolitan areas, you're gonna have, like I said, a lot of townhomes, things like that. If you want a, more older historic home, metropolitan area all day long. You're gonna have a lot more of that. There's a lot more character in the neighborhoods down there, in my opinion. So, just pay attention to that stuff and kind of get an idea of what kind of area or what kind of home you like, because that's going to be the biggest thing. Do you want something hugged up against your neighbor, maybe a condo, maybe a single family home that's still very small, or do you want to have more space? Do you want to have a bigger backyard? North County. Next step is going to be recreation and nightlife. The easiest way to answer this for yourself and kind of differ the two is, what's your vibe? You got to get crystal clear on what your lifestyle is. And what I mean by that is North County, San Diego, the suburbs, they're going to be a lot more laid back. It's going to be more relaxed. If you like beaches and hiking and all that stuff, North County is probably going to be a better fit for you. But on the other hand, if you are the opposite and you like to be in the hustle and bustle, going out, trying new restaurants, meeting new people, nightlife, food, walkability, metropolitan areas of San Diego are going to be a big difference and a lot better for you. Now, I've lived in North County, San Diego my entire life. It's just what my vibe is. It's just what I like. I've never lived in the metropolitan area. I go down there all the time and I know it very well. But the thing is, we go down there very often. That's the thing. Besides work, we're down there. We're going to see a Pods game, which is going to be the Padres. We go down there because all the great restaurants are down there. You're going to have a ton of diversity with the foods down there. North County doesn't really have it doesn't hit the same when it comes to foods and things like that. Now, you still have all that great stuff, but it's just a little bit different. Now, it's funny because I've had so many friends that have lived in North San Diego their entire life, and they wanted to switch things up. They wanted to have that walkability. They wanted that nightlife, so they moved down to downtown or the metro areas to see if it was a good fit. A lot of them, I'd say probably 3 out of 4 of them, have all moved back to North County, San Diego. They gave it a good 1-2 years down there, and they're like, hey, it's just not for me. I loved it while I did it, but overall, this is where I can raise a family. This is where I can relax and do all that stuff. So just something to think about with that. Last one that's going to have a very big impact on deciding where you live is going to be these schools. This one is huge, especially if you have kiddos. I mean, might be the reason you're moving to San Diego. We got some great schools here, but even if you don't have kids, or maybe you're planning on having kids in the future, you always want to think for the future. You want to put that business hat on and think, this is where the best investment is going to be, is in these good school districts. So with that being said, San Diego has great schools all over the place, but what I've seen is North County, San Diego tends to have the higher rated schools. So you want to keep that in mind. You want to do your own diligence. We have stuff down in the description below that'll help you kind of figure out which schools and ratings and all that stuff is going to be good. Now, the biggest differentiators between the two is San Diego, your school districts are a lot bigger. Now, what I mean by that is San Diego Unified School District is massive. It's going to cover so many different cities. It's going to cover La Jolla, Point Loma, Ocean Beach, North Park. It's going to cover downtown San Diego. It's going to cover so many different areas. So you have to really find out what schools you want your kids to go to. Now, the next part of that is North County, San Diego, they're a little bit more tight-knit. Now, Oceanside Unified School District, it's going to be all Oceanside. San Marcos Unified School District, it's going to be all San Marcos. Carlsbad. So each city kind of caters to their own school district. But one thing you really need to understand is sometimes they don't. This is why it's so crucial that you guys reach out to us so we can help pinpoint you and figure out what schools are going to be the best for you. And we put it into the search. A lot of agents don't do this, and I've seen this end up disastrous where, here's an example, Carlsbad will actually feed into 3 different school districts, which are good school districts. They'll go into San Marcos, it'll feed into San Diego as well, which is going to be Encinitas. So it'll feed into 2 other school districts. So just because you're buying in a Carlsbad zip code doesn't mean you're always going to get Carlsbad zip codes. I've seen this happen bad where people thought they were going to be at these Carlsbad schools, only to find out they're at San Marcos Unified School District, which again isn't a big deal because you have good schools there. But if your kids have friends and they want to go to the same school, that could be a big bummer because now they got to start over and meet new friends. So you just want to avoid that. So make sure you guys reach out if you're relocating here, because we will make it extremely easy for you, but you just have to reach out. Info is down below in the description. And I'm very curious to find out what you guys think. Which one is better in your books? Which one do you think would mesh better with you? Or maybe you live here now and you moved from the North County down to the Metro, or maybe vice versa. I'm very, very curious, and make sure you check out some of these videos right here because these are also going to be extremely helpful in your endeavors. Thanks for watching.